This is the second half of the section 3.2, which is on truth tables for negations, ands, and ors. So we've already gone over the rules for these, and now again we're going to do some more examples at this point. So example 5, we are looking for a truth value. Number 6, you're also looking for a truth value. So I would like you to pause it, try to do it, make sure you do your order of operations. Do not do the 5 steps in one. Show each step out. You won't make a mistake that way. When you're done, unpause it and listen to me explain it. So the first thing that I do is the only thing I go ahead and use a rule on is if I have a negation. So I'm going to keep my parentheses. P is true. Bring down my symbol of and. Negation of Q is true. Bring down my symbol. R is going to be true. So now I'm going to do my order of operations, which says do my parentheses first. So and means both have to be true, which they are. Or means at least one of them has to be true, which they are. So remember, and means both have to be true to get a true answer, or means at least one has to be true. Those are my rules other than my negation, which just says flip-flop them. So again, I'm only going to do my negations right off the bat. So I bring down my parentheses, false, and negation of Q is false. So now I'm going to do again my parentheses first, which is false and false. So and means both have to be true to give me a true answer. So my answer there is false. Or means at least one of them is true, which we do have. So my answer here is true as well. The only thing I would do right off the bat is if you have a negation. Again, if you pause those and you think you did something wrong, go ahead and fix number 6, A and B, and then listen to mine after you have done it. So again, I'm going to go ahead and plug in just for those negations. So negation of R is false. Negation of Q is true. Bring my symbol down. Negation of R is false. Bring my symbol. Negation of P is false. So easy to do something wrong there. Double check what you have. So we're now going to do our parentheses next. And means at least, and means both have to be true. If it helps to write your word, both underneath it. So this would be a false statement. I was about to write true, but it's definitely false because it's a both. It's very easy to mix match your and your or. Bring your symbol down. Or means at least one. And there's not at least one, so it's a false. Now we're going to do our symbol between, which is an and, which means both have to be true, and they are both false. My answer here for this problem is false. Going to B, again I'm going to do any of the negations first. I'm going to go through and again use those properties, keeping the rest of my symbols. So negation of R is false. Negation of Q is false. Negation of R is false. Negation of P is true. So now I'm going to do order of operations, which says do your parentheses. This means both. Both have to be true. I do not have that, so that's a false. Or means at least one. And I do have at least one, so it's a true. My last step is to do an and again, which means both. So I'm doing this step here next. Both are not true, so my answer is false. Those are truth values. Make sure, again, one wrong move can mess everything up. The more you try to do in one step, the more likely you are to make a mistake. So we're going to look at another type of truth value problem. This is actually a problem that they're actually going to make you have to find the truth values using the chart. So in this case, 25% of Americans get 6 hours of sleep. 25% of Americans get 6 hours of sleep each night. Is that true or false? So if I look here, 25% get 6 hours of sleep, which is this pinkish purple piece of the pie. So that answer should be a true. And remember, we look for that comma to tell me how to separate it. I have an and, which is a symbol. My next sentence, simple statement, is 30% get 7 hours of sleep each night. So I look for the 7 hours, and that is a true statement as well. This is going to start the parentheses because of the comma. So that's going to be a true. We have an or. And my last statement is going to be 9%, but you notice that there's a very important word in there that I'm not going to highlight in yellow. That's going to be my negation. My third statement is 9% do get 5 hours of sleep, but I'm taking the negation of that. So I'm looking at the 5 hours piece, which is the 9%. So that 9% is 5 hours is true, so we're going to take the opposite of that. So I'm even going to write that down at this point right now. That's going to give me a false. You could have gone directly to that piece as well. So now I'm going to do my parentheses. True or false. It means at least one of them has to be true, which works. And the last one is an and, which means both have to be true, and both of them are true. So my answer here is a true. So yes, you do have a 50-50 shot in getting this correct. However, it's not hard if you write your steps down and you take steps to do each one of them and double check. Say to yourself what the rule is. So we have 2 more examples for this problem, for this section. So again, we're going to deal with another application. We're going to deal with obtaining a loan. So the first thing I want you to do is identify which applicants would qualify, but if they don't, why do they not? So I need you to understand, again, the symbols in this case. And so we're going to read this blue sentence. To qualify for a loan, an applicant must have a gross income of $30,000 if single, $50,000 combined income if married, and assets. So and. So my first criteria is an applicant must have a gross income of either 30 if they're single or 50 if they're combined. They also have to have assets of at least $10,000. So we have to be able to check both the blue and the green to meet that qualification. So we're reading the first one. Miss Argento is married and has 2 children. So she's married. Remember, she needs combined $50,000 and assets of at least $10,000. So that's what we're checking. So she's 2 children, earned $37,000, and he earned $15,000. So 37 plus the 15 would give me 52. So that would work. And they have assets $25,000, so that works. So my answer is yes, they would qualify. Again, now looking at the next one, single. So if they're single, need $30,000. And assets have to still be greater than the $10,000. I need an extra 0 up there. So reading this, her assets are $19,000, so that one works. She works in a store and earns $25,000, so she does not make enough. Her income is less than the $30,000. She makes $25,000. The third one, Mr. Stewart earns $24,000. Miss Fox, his wife, earns $28,000. So this would be a combined. Need to have $50,000 in income, and the assets need to be greater than or equal to 10,000. So if we read this, 24 plus 28, that gives me 52,000. So we're good there. Their assets are 8,000. So we're not good there. Not enough assets. So notice, again, it's up to you on kind of how you show this, but I tried to organize it. So a lot of us don't even ever realize that we're actually using truth, because people will say to me, why am I doing this? You do use truth tables, truth values all the time. You just don't realize it. But obtaining loans is a little more complicated than this, but there usually is boxes you have to check, and you have to either check one or the other and something else. So this is showing that in a simplistic format. So I wanted to, again, highlight the income rule was the blue, and the assets part was the green. And the key word here is it said both, and, which meant both had to work to give me a true value. So last one we're going to do, the first thing I would like you to do is take this statement and write it, a compound statement. I want you to write it in symbols. So I want you to do that right now. Pause it and write it out. We'll check that because I want to make sure that that's correct before you go to the truth table. So when we're looking at this again, let's highlight our key words, our key phrases. And is a symbol. But is a symbol. We have to be careful in these pieces. I'm going to have 3 simple statements because Mike made pizza is P. Dennis made a chef salad. That's Q. Gil burned the lemon squares. That's R. Remember, the comma tells me how I am going to put parentheses. So the comma is here. So that means I'm going to do parentheses around that first piece. So now I want you to write it down in symbols if you have not, using your P, Q, and R in the correct symbols for your logical connectives. So I should have, again, which is what I have up here, the parentheses around the first group. And since I'm defining P, Q, and R, we're going to put them in that order. So P and Q, close the parentheses, and R. So the first thing we should notice before we do anything else is that there are 3 simple statements, which means that I should have 8 combinations. So we're going to start our chart always the same way when we have 3 simple statements. We're going to start it off with P, Q, and R. P is 4 trues, 4 falses. Q is pairs, 2 trues, 2 falses, 2 trues, 2 falses. And R is alternating. We're going to always use that pattern. So I get that question sometimes, how do I know? I'm telling you that that's the pattern. If you don't know that, that kind of tells me you haven't been actually watching the videos. So now we're going to design our chart. And if it helps, like I said, it's not required, but if it helps, number your columns. Because our next piece we need to do is look if we need any negations, and we don't. So the next piece we're going to do is our parentheses, which is P and Q. Our last one is going to be the whole statement, but this is why I said it's helpful for you to number your columns. Not required, but I recommend it. P and Q is looking at column 1 and 2. So it's easier, I think, to look at that and say, okay, what is my rule? And means both have to be true. So you're going to finish that column. This last statement is a little more complicated looking because we have lots of symbols involved. But now if you've been numbering your column, this is actually column 4, which is here. So 4 and 3, and again, remember, both have to be true. So that's what we're doing. And doesn't matter the order you look at them in. The only one you'll have to worry about the order is your if-then, which is the next section. So go ahead and fill in the rest of this, and when you're finished, unpause it. So we are looking at column 1 and column 2, which happen to be right beside each other. Two trues works, two trues work. True, false, no, true, false, no, false, true, false, true, false, 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 false. No, because we need both to be true to give me a true answer. Sorry, both to be true. I said it right. Both have to be true to give you a true answer. Now we're going to look at the last column, and I'm going to highlight just because I think, again, it's easier for me to see. I'm looking at column 4 first. Then I'm looking at column 3, but because this is an and statement, it doesn't matter the order you look at it. So the rule still is both have to be true for it to be true. So the first one, true, true, and I'm just going to, just so you can follow along here right now, I'm going to do this. Second one, false then true. They both have to be true to work. True then false. They both have to be true to work. False then false does not work. True false does not work. False false does not work. True false does not work. And false false does not work. That is my answer column for this truth table. If they ever ask you, like, when is it true for this truth table? It's true only in this top column. And if I were to refer to that, I would actually say P, Q, and R have to be true to give me a true answer. That's how I would conclude it.